Hello everyone, it's Betsy. I wanted to do another update on my Christmas journal of stitchery. The last one I showed was my snowman. I don't know if I showed him finished, but here's the finished snow guy, little snowman guy. I did add a little bundle of sticks to under his little arm here, and finished his nose and added some stitching to the scarves, and I can't remember if I think I showed you the bottom part too. So he's all done. And then the second part of that prompt was to make a pocket. I'd thought about giving him a pocket, but it just didn't work out. So I made a big pocket next to him, and I used just a tea-dyed piece of canvas that I blanket stitched around, and I added this old calico, I think you would call it, antique fabric behind it, and did a running stitch around that, and added a really old beautiful mother of pearl button, which I backed with a little handmade medallion that you can find now and then. And inside the pocket I placed a couple tags. This was just a stamp tag that could be journaled on in the back that I can use. And this was a little fancier tag I made. I used this little old rusted looking tree. It's metal, and I just put it down on some old fabrics. This fabric I printed myself. Use some lace, and this is a cute little gathered piece of paper with a zigzag going up the middle. I thought that was kind of sweet at the bottom. I think I got that off of Etsy. A girl sells those on there, and you get a whole scroll of them. This is actually an old, very old piece of garland. And I added some little rusty looking bells. They're not authentic, but I thought they matched well. And on the back, I just put Mary, and this was some ribbon that I had, and added some lace again. So that's another tag to put in the pocket. And then just this little candy cane that was wrapped with some old fabric. Then the next prompt for this month was Nutcracker. Now I have to tell you, I had the hardest time with that. You know, I Googled it and I looked on Pinterest. And because I'm doing kind of a primitive journal, I just could not find any primitive looking nutcrackers. Nutcrackers are pretty fancy. I mean, you know, they're decked out in jewels and sequins and fancy crowns and all kinds of stuff. So it was kind of hard for me to figure one out. So finally, I just let it go. You know how sometimes you just have to let something go because you can't work it out in your head. You can't find anything. You get kind of frustrated. So I just let it go and let my brain rest and not worry about it. And maybe a week or so later, I was just going through some of my fabrics, and I came upon an old woven coverlet. See if I can find a piece to show you. Hold on. Here it is. This is what it looked like before I cut some pieces out of it. Actually, I think this might be the back side. Yeah, I think this is the front side. And as soon as I saw that, I just instantly knew I wanted to make my Nutcracker out of it, and I didn't even have to use very much of it. So what I did is I just cut out some little legs. I cut out a shirt or a chest and went from there. And things just suddenly all fell into place. And I'll show you how he turned out. So here he is, my little primitive Nutcracker, or as primitive as I could make him. Well, probably not as primitive as I could have made him, but I don't know, I just took off with him, and I did add some old lace at the bottom for him to kind of, it almost looks like a gate that he's standing in front of. Then I used some pretty wool that I had that matched him well, and I added, as you can see, his arms and some little cuffs on his shoulders. I made a little hat for him, and I printed out the Nutcracker suite, which I love, and I did a running stitch around that and made some little stars that matched, and I did a little bit of seed stitching there, and I found this gorgeous, so you can see it, it was hand beaded, and I believe it's French. They used a little tiny metallic bead. It's just beautiful. And I used that for his belt. And I don't know if you can tell, but this is supposed to be his mouth. And this is the little part that is the Nutcracker piece, where it almost looks like a beard too, doesn't it? Gave him a little string for his mustache. And actually I took a black Sharpie. It was just a string from a fabric. And I took a black Sharpie and went over that. I tried doing French knots for his eyes, but I just couldn't get them right. So I just cut them out from a piece of the same black felt that I used for his hat band. And the letters Wish were from a Tim Holtz fabric. And all I did was do a little running stitch around them. And the last thing I added was these metal poinsettias. I don't know. I don't know if they go right there or not. I decided I needed something here. I wanted something rusty, but I couldn't find anything. I thought I had some rusty stars, but I couldn't find them. And I took my diamond sparkle. I did give him a little sparkle to go with that old beaded metallic trim. But I took the diamond stickles and I just put it little tiny, what do you call it, dots on the wool. And then I added these silver poinsettias, and I also put some of that on there and sewed those on. And I don't know, for me, it kind of balanced it out. So I just left them on there. And yeah, I ended up kind of happy with him. I thought he was a little different, and I really enjoyed making him once I got started. And sometimes that's the key, isn't it? You just have to find that inspirational piece, and then it just kind of flows. And I'm just tickled with him. I really am. So I don't know what's next, but we'll see. And I hope you all are staying safe from all the rainy weather that's on the East Coast. And I really appreciate your watching and liking and subscribing. And that's it for today. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.